Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and you beautiful rainbow people in between, welcome back to the Pelafort. That is some good music. Welcome back, out in rain. I'm sure KO2's lurking in this somewhere. This is from the Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers soundtrack. We listen to Unchanging, Ever-Changing, the Lakeland Night theme from the Shadowbringers OST, Knowledge Never Sleeps from the Crystarium Night theme, Sands of Blood from Amarang's Night theme, and now we are listening to Calusia's Night theme. Always a pleasure to have you in here, KO2. Well, after I came back from errands, I grabbed the last of the blue quests in Amarang, Calusia, and the Tempest, so I got flying there. I also picked up some ring, bracelet, neck, and I got myself a sword that kind of makes me look like Nicholas D. Wolfwood from Trigun, with all the wrapping around the weapon. Of course, he had a giant cross-shaped arsenal of guns. I'm sure you would. Alright, recap time. Yesterday, we found out that the Scions' bodies are worse for wear for their etheric soul being away in the First while they are stuck on the Source. There's a lot of updates if you haven't played in a while. Let's see, if you picked it up in, you said November, then that would have been the Endwalker pre-patch. Endwalker itself, 5.01 and 5.08, and then I think, or 6.08 and 6.01. And then I think 6.1 is due at the end of March. So a lot of updating, because they added in an Oceanic server recently. I'm on the North American servers on the Primal Data Center, and I am on Otros. Let's see, where was I? Oh yes! Yesterday, the Scion's body was worse for wear after their etheric souls are in the First while their actual bodies are in the Source, just to be utterly confusing. We had a short conversation with Flamine about the fate of Minfilia and the fate of Reen on the First. We went back to the First and discussed it with Y'shtola, Alphino, Alize, the Crystal Exarch, and of course, Urianger. After we deliberated on what to do, which the Crystal Exarch led us to the Grand Cosmos, so that we might meet the Numo, Becklug, after fighting through her familiars. We gained her acceptance and went to the inn at Journey's Head. After which, Alize gained her own familiar in the form of Angelo, the Porksy, which she is studying to help the victims of Sin Eater attacks and hopefully heal the illness, starting the thread that I think will eventually lead to her being able to recover those who have been tempered by primals. Before we could finish our job though, Alphino and I were called away to Umor, because China's elected mayor had mysteriously disappeared, and his wife, Dula Chai, was beside herself. So we set out and found him in the upper rung of Calusia. There we found out he was trying to get a lay of the land after we defeated Lord Varthry, who in his indolence let most of Calusia just fall to ruin. After which, he proved himself to the previous mayor's counselor, return to Calusia with Talos in tow, and a mind to lead the people, albeit for a short while. We then returned to the source, where we learned about Astidian and Geis's escape from the Guardian capital after Xenosier Galvus killed his own dad. Garlemald is now without an emperor, and another civil war has broken out. And to make matters worse, it looks like Elidibus is possessing our old friend Aardvark's body, and someone has approached Xenos with a plan. So, you know, as per usual, everything's going to hell. Oh, you're on Midgard Somer. Oh, yeah. That would be Ether or Crystal. It's one of those servers. I'll have to check later. But without further ado, let us proceed. That last one was the Fairy Ring, the nighttime thing of Ilmeg. Also from the Shadowbringers OST. Right. Turn on the volume for La Vertigo game. It's gonna be loud whatever I do. So here goes nothing. Cryo, what is up? Old enemies and new threats. Cryo is glad for your return, though it remains to be seen if she has glad tidings to share. Handle it. My, what a pleasant surprise. If you come to inquire after the Archons, fear not. Master Matoria's treatment has proven effective in stabilizing the corporeal ether. We mustn't grow complacent, however. Potent though these magics may be, they are not without limits. We can only hope they afford us enough time for the Crystal Exarch to complete his work. If only we could go with you to the first and help. Pardon the interruption, but I come bearing urgent news. Ah, indolent. It's been far too long, my friend. Hey, Maxima. Don't worry, my memory sucks too. Seems like I have highly selective memory, which works against me. Look at me. As you know, I don't believe we have been formally introduced. Maxima, former Guardian Ambassador, I remain here in Eorzea under auspices of Commander Aldine, offering what counsel I can in hopes of resolving the present conflict with the Empire. Ah, yes. I have heard stories of a defector from Garlemald. But never mind that. You said you have urgent news. Indeed. As you may have heard, the Imperial capital is in turmoil, and a sizable portion of the Guardian forces have been recalled from the Gimlet Dark. With their numbers so greatly diminished, the main host of the Alliance has withdrawn, leaving the Almegan resistance to keep watch over the border. And it is there we have welcomed a most unexpected visitor, who claims that this de-escalation may belie growing dangers and unforeseen threats. Commander Aldine has arranged for an impromptu meeting to discuss these revelations. He has also requested a representative of the Signs attend as well, though it was clear to whom he wished I extend this invitation. It would seem time is of the essence. Well, I will not be attending this meeting alone. Though I'm not as well versed in the affairs of city-states as our comrades, I see no reason to burden a single scion with all this. Sure. Yes, of course. Then we must make for the Almegan quarter with all haste. Well, what are you waiting for? Get going, you two. Ah, Tataru, hardest working scion of us all. Well, let's get on with it. Activate Nannybot. Alrighty. Let's see what's what and who's who. Commander Aldine waits us in the Royal Palace, if you will follow me. Gaius is here. Are we gonna throw down with him now? Oh, and his companions who never say anything ever.
They're here, Commander.
Commander. You may fire when
And I, for one, am grateful that they are. Told you've been busy since our paths last crossed at the Gimlet Dark.
You have no idea.
Not that I understand half of it. When the Scions spoke of other worlds, I'd struggled to describe what I pictured. Mayhap things would seem clearer were I to hear the tale from your own lips. But I'm afraid the situation will not afford us that luxury. I trust you two require no introduction.
I punched him in the face once.
We meet again, hero of Eorzea. Must we repeat this ridiculous display? I pose no threat to you, though what I come to warn you of very well might.
Yeah. Go on.
Had he meant to do us harm, I hazard he would have kept to the shadows, and brought more than 2 companions.
I don't know, you don't have an arm anymore, Robot.
We need not pretend to be the best of friends, but I hope we can put aside our differences for the present.
Fine, I'll punch him later.
As you are doubtless aware, Sir Estinian and I cooperated to rid the world of Black Rose in your absence.
Indeed, and Xenos apparently helped accidentally.
Our journey together took us as far as the Imperial Palace, where we witnessed Emperor Varus meet his death at Xenos' hand. Being the sole witnesses to this crime, and in no position to defend our innocence, we were then forced to flee, each pursuing his own avenue of escape. When we were later reunited, Estinian claimed to have encountered an unfamiliar kind of machina during his flight, but to me his description seemed anything but, and upon further investigation I found that I was right. The Empire is developing a new Ultima weapon.
Ah, that's just great.
What, that Allagan monstrosity, created to vanquish primals, with which you yourself once thought to conquer Eorzea?
The same. In my foolishness, I sought to harness its power, and became the Ascian's pawn in so doing. But you know as well as I how that tale ended. The weapon itself, excavated from beneath this very city, was destroyed ere we could fully unravel its secrets, and that should have been the end of it. But unlikely as it sounds, the Empire's efforts to recreate it have somehow borne fruit, primarily through secret research conducted by the 7th Imperial Legion, it would seem.
Wait, the 7th was all but annihilated at Cartano, along with its legatus.
Indeed, few survived. The 7th, as it is now, has little in common with the Legion led by Vandanis, and its leadership has changed hands several times since. Precisely how this project has continued despite such turmoil, and under whose auspices, remains a mystery. What we do know, however, is that a number of prototypes have been produced, and that one of them is on its way to Eorzea. We attempted to stop it, but it was all we could do to slow its progress, so we resolved instead to bring you warning.
And right glad are we that you did. though it soundly dashed our hopes that tensions might ease at last.
As it is, we've begun to strengthen our presence in the Gimlet Dark, and are assembling a force to meet the coming threat. A force with you in its vanguard, I hope. Before you say anything, I know full well you have pressing concerns of your own. Your comrades remain in peril, and I would not ask you to forsake them. But the fact remains that you, and you alone, have faced the Ultima Weapon, and emerged victorious. We need you. And so, when the time comes, if your comrades can spare you, I bid you lend us your strength. I've assigned an officer to await your word.
The Ascian's downfall was to be the work of my remaining days. But it was my hand that kindled these flames, and I cannot allow them to spread any further. I will do what I must to see this mistake consigned to history once and for all. Even if it means begging your aid. The Fates will enjoy the irony, even as I endure the ignominy.
Alright, guess what?
I too shall make for the border and offer my skills, meager though they seem in such company. Mayhap we shall meet there anon.
Alright, I guess that's what I'm doing today.
Though we can ill afford to ignore the coming of a new Ultima weapon, our friend's plight grows ever more precarious, and none save you can join them in the first. I only hope you are not forced to make a choice.
Alright. As ever, the way forward is paved with difficult decisions. We can ill afford to ignore the threat of the new Ultima weapon, but with each passing day, the plight of the Science grows ever more perilous. If you cannot stay for a debriefing on the Ultima weapon, we will not stop you. Only ask that you confer with me before returning to the first. Ruby Doomsday. The resistance of the Alliance forces prepare in earnest as a new threat looms on the horizon. Ah, indolent. Glad you could make it. As you have heard, Commander Aldine has given orders to embark from the Alliance headquarters to hold back the advance of the Empire's latest menace. Not that the soldiers stationed there are too chuffed about being on the front line against these new weapons. If they're designed to slay primals, they'd make short work of us mere mortals as well. Mind you, it's Gaius Belisar and his followers who've led the charge so far. By all accounts, they've been giving as good as they can get. Unfortunately, the sorties have met with little success. I dare say they'd benefit greatly from your presence on the battlefield. If you're ready, my colleague over at Porta Praetoria will show you the way. Hi, who's Silver? Away! Change my streaming stuff. Okay. Activate Nanobot! On your way to the headquarters, I take it? Yes, sir, Bob. Yep. Oh, we're getting Scala music. So his name is Valdolin and Severa. To be honest, we weren't sure if you'd ever show up. I, for one, am glad you decided to throw your lot in with us. Caius says you are our best hope of defeating that abomination. We have seen only a glimpse of its true power. Even that was more than enough for us. Hey, they actually talk. That's a nice change. Well, it's shaking, Kevin Bacon. So your mind is set. And I shall apprise you of the situation. We have discovered that the previously abandoned Ultima Weapon project is being helmed by a reformed 7th Legion. They have already succeeded in producing several prototypes, one of which is set to be deployed on the Eorzean front. Its name? The Ruby Weapon. Ugh, I hated that thing! Severa and I were able to get within striking distance during one of its test runs, and made an attempt to destroy it. An attempt that ended in failure, alas. Based on our knowledge of the original Ultima weapon, the explosives we employed should have been sufficient to blast through its armor completely, but it barely left a scratch. We suspect the gifts of its predecessor may have proven the source of its resilience. You what? When? In Final Fantasy VII? As you well know, the Ultima Weapon is designed to absorb ether from icons. The Ruby Weapon no doubt shares this about that ability. If any were summoned during the uprising in Garlemald's occupied territories, and thereafter consumed, our enemy would become all the more formidable. But it is their impenetrable armor was only the beginning of our troubles. They fought back with whip-like claws that can be extended and contracted at will. And in the face of such opposition, we were forced to withdraw. Caius was injured, shielding me from the Ruby Weapon's assault. Even now, he struggles to stand. Damn it all. If I hadn't been so careless, this wouldn't have happened. You need not concern yourself. Let's not forget that I am the one who initiated the Ultima Weapon project. If I must give my life to bury this shameful legacy, so be it. If you were to face it as you are now, you'd be cut down before even hobbled with a firing distance. In any case, you can't afford to lose the information in your head on both the foe we face and the Empire itself. We all know that asking for Indolent's assistance presents us the best chance of stopping that war machina. It is true that if anyone were capable of putting down such a monstrosity, it would be him. Though I have no right to ask this of you, would you lend us your strength? I knew the 7th Legion was an Easter egg. I'll do this for Eorzea. Yeah, let's see. Final Fantasy VII had the Diamond Weapon, the Sapphire Weapon, the Ruby Weapon, the Emerald Weapon, the Ultima Weapon. I think that's it. You have my thanks. And mine. Though I was impressed upon your urgency of our situation, we have received word that the Empire is preparing to advance in the Gimlet Dark. That is where we will intercept them. If our fears are proven correct, the Ruby Weapon will be among the host. Should it break through our lines, there is no telling the devastation it will wreak. Make no mistake, the very survivor of Eorzea hangs in the balance. Once you have steeled yourself for battle, your escort will lead the way. Like he's just back there. Who, me? I'll do boss. What price must the world pay for my hubris? A lot, apparently. A short while earlier, the Guardian occupied the city of Werlet's Magitech installation. Yep, that's the ruby weapon. Doesn't have technical arms though. Commencing ruby weapon activation sequence. All units, stand by. Initiated synthetic aura sight system. Fusion successful. No signs of incompatibility. Awaiting your signal. Ruby weapon. Code Darkness. Ready for launch. Yeah, that's it. See if I can pull it up. Just a second. Look like this. It was near the gold saucer in Final Fantasy VII. It showed up after the weapons were awakened in the story, and it was one of the biggest pain in the asses in the game, because it would knock away your party one by one. And if you were knocked away, you automatically lost. So yeah. That looks all big and tanky. Baldarian has briefed me on our mission. I am to take you as far as our expected point of contact with the ruby weapon. Once we arrive, the rest is up to you, I'm afraid. Cinder Drift. Now accessible. I assume that's a trial, yes. Though the original Ultima Weapon, piloted by Gaius Belisar, was destroyed in the decisive battle at the Praetorium, Garlemald has been secretly developing its successor. Now, this diabolical melding of Algan and Guardian technologies has been deployed to annihilate those who would oppose the Empire. At the behest of none other than Gaius Belisar himself, he crossed the scorched battlefield of Gimlet Dark to halt this crimson menace before it lays waste to Eorzea. Okay. Hopefully I don't have to do much as a tank. Off the beaten path from the MSQ here. Saucer. Heading on in. Come on, DPS. Wake up, DPS. It's always that one DPS. Oh well. Cinder Drift, Garabanya. Mark 3 Anti-Icon War Machina. Ultima Weapons. Enemy detected. Commence an attack. And soft topics. Standing combat data, subject shock. I summon Prey, attack mode. Hello. That was kind of cool. Nope. Good job, Prey. Win the win. Summon Prey! Attack mode! Need to fix that. He's fucking lost. How about that? Electrify, I'm guessing? Okay, maybe not. Absolutely not. Cannot be. The ruby weapon is unstoppable. Oh, great. Sorry, everyone. It's the end for me. Activating Oversoul. Increasing pilot override rate 100%. Commencing force shutdown. System restart. Synthetic Orocyte switching to Oversoul mode. Loading data sample. Dawnless combat gator, ready. Initiate organic core. Oh yeah, this is from... No! Get out of my line! Stop! I'm not now! I'm getting kicked off Twitch! Holy shit! Is that Limsa? I am now Vendawnus. Come to purify this forsaken land. Game resets? Lovely! New woman. Maybe a project. Persona? Hello. Over here, buddy. Sounds like you're taking a lot of stuff. Shut up. Holy shit, is that Tower Moon? Big sucker. Do not want. Do not want. Hell. Well, I'm gonna leave that and pray. Back while I'm trying to figure out what the fuck is going on. Hello. It's like the behemoth. There's... Spin the wind. Okay, bye. We just got on Ah, good. Watch out for the acid for the blood part. All the bright colors. Time to have a rave. Almost. Rather than thoroughly spanked. Whoops, I think I cheated. Welcome to Spanking Pandora. Even from afar, your figure was unmistakable. Yeah, you saw me floundering like crazy. Holy crap. As ever, an impressive display. Though I am sure you will concur, the Ultima Weapon pales in comparison to this monstrosity. Though research is allowed to continue, the next model will be nigh unstoppable. With that in mind, the Alliance has enlisted the help of... Wait, I hear something. Sup? Hello there. General Kenobi. Here to sift through what remains of the ruby weapon, are you? Allie, what do you think you're doing? Allie? Father! I'm sorry, what? It has been too long, Alphonse. And you too, Rex. I don't look too happy to see you guys. Given that the Empire is proceeding with the weapon project and making inroads into Eorzea, I suppose it was only a matter of time until our paths crossed. It's wonderful to see you again, Father, although I can't say I think much of the company you've been keeping. I'm just a rabbit dude. Leave me alone. I know a lot's happened, but I'm glad you're alright. Now you can come back to Garlemald with us. My days of serving the Empire are over. Because you suspected of assassinating Emperor Vars? Damn! Wigfall travels quick! We know you'd never do a thing like that. There must be a way to prove your innocence. Then everything can go back the way it was. Guys, who the fuck are these people? And why are they talking like little orphan Annie? Oh god, I'm tripping balls! Please, sir, can I have some more? So he found you two shivering on the roadside when he was going through Wurlet. Lucky for you, eh? If he had it, he'd probably be dead by now. God, that's so small! As for us three, our parents all died in the epidemic. We'd still be begging on the street corners if it weren't for him. I just wish there was a way we could repay Lord Gaius for all the kindness he's shown us. He fights for the Empire, so we should too. That'll make him proud of us. You're saying we should join the army? Bit young there, aren't you, kid? I don't think that's such a good idea. Everyone in Relit is scared of the Guardians. Or would we want to be like them? Look, Gaius is different. I know he is. You're right. He always says that the strong should lead the weak. Maybe that's why he took us in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're missing 2. Alright. If I become a soldier is what it takes, I'll do it. If becoming a soldier is what it takes, I'll do it. Who's with me? Count me in. And maybe one day people will look up to us like they do Lord Gaius. I'm glad to see that a hairstyle hasn't changed the entire time they've been alive. And it's settled. From now on, we're all brothers and sisters fighting for the same cause. Brothers and sisters? Then that would make Lord Gaius our father. Don't read too much into that. Well, if he doesn't mind calling him... Well, if he doesn't mind us calling him that, I suppose so. And that makes you our big brother, since you're the oldest. You better be nice to us, so I'm telling father. You little shit. So, what happened to the other two who aren't present right now? Father, since you went away, a lot has changed in the Empire. For us too. If we'd known that you were still out there, still alive, none of this would have happened. What do you mean? The truth is, if you must go, I will not stop you, but answer me this. Who is piloting the ruby weapon? We all know that Nailed von Donis has not returned from the dead. Who do you think? It was Melisandre. Oh shit. No. I refuse to believe that. Oh god! Light of the crystal. There it is again. Okay. I refuse to believe you would let that happen. She was a sister to you. To all of you. We only want to finish what you started. And while we will never forget all that you have done for us, the next time we meet, we shall be as enemies. Goodbye, Father. This is really weird. As for you, hero of Eorzea, you'll pay for what you did to Melisandre. I swear it. Yeah, well, I don't know. There's a big weapon, and he pointed me at the big weapon, and I fought the big weapon, and then it became an alien reference, and Dalamoon was falling, and there's claws everywhere. What shit? I thought fighting Emmett Silk was weird. Okay, bye! So... when's the birthdays? Does this make me the godfather? Technically? Or am I just a weird uncle that occasionally shows up? Ah, Sidnathy. Well, Gaius Van Belisar, meet again. Come to see your precious weapon project has been proceeding in your absence, have you? You have come collect data on the ruby weapon, correct? The pilot, Melisandre, should still be inside the cockpit. I will ask I'm not going to pronounce his name. His name is now Victor. I will ask Victor to escort you to the wreckage. Any idea who Melisandre is? An Imperial crony of his, perhaps? Not exactly. One of the orphans. Gaius always did have an eye for talent, and a mind to nurture it. In fact, Livia Sasjunis was another protege of his. Weird. Even took me under his wing when my father became obsessed with the Meteor Project. Strange that I feel closer to Gaius than my own flesh and blood. And my father and countless others lost their lives in the Boja incident. Although he was acting under Emperor Sullus' orders, he masterminded the whole thing. Seeing as Sullus was Emmett Selk, I'm pretty sure that was an Asian thing. I begged him to reconsider, to put an end to this madness, but my words fell on deaf ears. That's when I turned to Gaius for support, but he was as much a pawn of the Emperor as my father, and refused to intervene. And when my true turn came to serve, I defected and fled to Eorzea. You all better for it, Sid. I blame Gaius as much as any of them, perhaps even more, for barbaric acts carried out in the name of conquest. But, when we met in the Praetorium, all that hatred that had been festering inside me seemed to fade away, and remember the man I once respected. To think the dreaded Black Wolf was a mere plaything of Asians, who left him broken and disgraced, having sent thousands of his men to early graves. It's more than most could bear, and now the lives of the children. he raised, hanging the balance. Thank you for the synopsis, Sid. Any personal grievances I have with Gaius can wait. I'd best gather what information I can on the ruby weapon, but I'll be back as soon as possible. Okay, but where's Nero? Okay, bye. If Sid is as I remember him, it will not take long for him to finish investigating the remains of the ruby weapon. He never was one to waste time. I'll take a drink of water. My engineers are still in the field, but there's something I thought you should know right away. It's about the pilot. I'm not sure how to explain this, but Melisandre is dead. I only hope she was not made to suffer. Death would have been a kindness. In all my years, I've never seen such a perversion of science and nature. Her body was fused with the Ultima Weapons core. Those last moments must have been spent in pure agony, as her life's essence was drained from her. So, she was sacrificed to power that infernal machine? We must act quickly if we are to prevent the Empire from committing further atrocities. Internet, is there any other information you can share with us regarding the ruby weapons prior to its deactivation? Shit is going down, yo, as per usual. Now Von Donis. Do the greatest mean that much to Melisandre? From what I gather, sounds as if the data based on Nell's combat capabilities was used to override the pilot's consciousness after she was fused with the core. That is kind of fucking metal. If this technology is perfected, Empire begins implementing the memories of renowned warriors, such as the White Raven, into its soldiers. The Alliance won't stand a chance. Is such a thing even possible? It's more or less how soul crystals work. A similar method of transference was used as a prototype Assyrian fight, was it not? Yes, it seems that such crystals are common used throughout Eorzea, an ancient but effective means of passing on knowledge from one generation to the next. While maybe bear some similarities, we won't know for certain until we've analyzed the wreckage of the ruby weapon. It cannot be denied that the combined combat data from an experienced soldier with the powers of an icon has yielded remarkable results. But in doing so, the Empire has sunk to the very depths of depravity. This is beyond forgiveness. For once, I agree with you. Yet one question remains unanswered. How are they able to obtain data of someone who was supposedly killed prior to the calamity? That's what I'm trying to determine. There's one possibility I'd like to explore, but I'll need to carry out a more thorough investigation first. Severo will provide support while you are in the field. Not only is she extremely well versed in the latest Guardian technology, there are a few soldiers I would rather have watching my back. And off she goes. In the meantime, Victor and I will follow the ruby weapons track back to the points of origin. We will learn what we can of the weapon project and the manner in which Alphonse and the others are involved. Should we uncover anything of value, we will relay it to the troops stationed here. For now, I suggest you use this lull in the Guardian activity to recuperate. Yeah, sure. Okay, bye. Would I be correct in guessing that this belated reunion with those darling orphans of yours stirred up memories of your time in Garlemald? Remember our agreement, Gaius? If you so much as think of returning to your imperial masters, I will kill you. Wow. This is getting intense. Activate Nannybot. Howdy ho, neighborino. So, you put down the ruby weapon? Gods, I wish I could have seen it. Not for Dukero's mind. I suppose I should report the news of your victory to the highest up. I realize you must have been through quite the ordeal, but could you give me a quick summary of the battle? Shit went down, yo. You make it sound so easy. Oh my god, if only it was. From the way you tell it, anyone would think slaying a hulking brutes like that for a living. I'll put all this in a report. And leave you a copy over there. So you fancy a bit of light reading. Anyway, I expect you got more pressing matters to take care of. Like going for a celebratory point. If the Guardians pluck up the courage to come knocking again, I'll let you know. Till then, rest up. Meanwhile, back at the ranch. Meanwhile, on the Worldlet Magitech installation. And then there were 4. Ha! You stupid fucking hair. We should have told him the truth. He'd be able to help us. I know he would. That's exactly the problem, Allie. If he knew the true nature of the weapon project, he'd find some way to interfere. We've come too far to back down now. I won't let Melisandre's death be in vain. Even if it means going against Father's wishes. Cheer up, Fawns. We can all go back to being one big happy family after we've dealt with those pesky Eorzeans. It'll be just like old times. If only it were that simple. There's no guarantee any of us will make it back alive. Excuse me, I think you're forgetting whose turn is next. Oh, ye of little faith. With me at the helm of the sapphire weapon, it'll be over before you know it. And so all of their hair colors are based off weapons. So she's probably going to be Diamond. He's Sapphire. His son, Melisandre, was Ruby. Dude with green hair might be Emerald. Whatever happens, Rex will promise you'll come back to us. Couldn't bear to lose you too. Unless you're going to be Diamond instead. Thinking. Sleep now and Sapphire. Information related to the weapon project has been uncovered, and your allies prepare to depart for distant lands. Indolent, I'm afraid we haven't much in the way of information to share with you from the front line. We have, however, received word that Gaius wishes to speak with you at the Alliance headquarters. I've arranged an escort to take you to the headquarters, so when you're ready to depart, speak with the fellow over there. Activate Nannybot. What's up? Ready to head out? Might as well. Good, you're here. Landmarks have completed their analysis of the ruby weapon. Sid Garland wishes to share his findings. I take it you can spare a few moments? Just a few. Very good. Please wait here while I inform him of your arrival. Oh, that can't be good. Time for a lore drop based on the music. Glad you could make it, Indolent. I'm sure you're anxious as anyone to hear what we've uncovered. Our early hypothesis is proving correct. The Guardians have designed a system whereby a pilot's consciousness can forcibly be supplanted with the data based on the memories of the experience of another. Even a ranked amateur could be able to obtain the combat capabilities of a seasoned warrior. Precisely. And we learned how this was made possible. Precisely. And we learned how this was made possible when we opened the cockpit. The monitors were still operational, and among the messages displayed one particular phrase caught my attention. Synthetic Orosite System. Which is what exactly? Well, the core of the Ultima weapon was referred to as the Heart of Sebek by the Asians. We believe it to be a type of Orosite. It is unclear whether the Guardian's simulacrum possesses the same property as a genuine Orosite, but I intend to follow this avenue of inquiry to see where it leads. What we do know is that it was used to implant the combat data of Nail Von Donis into the pilot, who has been presumably dead since before the calamity. Are you any closer to discovering how they were able to retrieve this data? The link didn't occur in Gaius at first, but he later told me of the device fitted to the Magitech armor of the Empire's high-ranking officers. There's a reason I believe they were designed to emulate the soul crystals used throughout Eorzea. Yes, that was the rumor to be its true purpose, but it was never publicly acknowledged. Perhaps those in the upper echelons of the command want to avoid comparisons to so-called savages they were meant to be conquering. There is also the question of whether the system can even functions as intended. I'm lost. From what we've seen, we can assume they were successful in gathering combat data of those wearing armor equipped with the device. If the comparison with the soul crystals is valid, perhaps the data can be transferred via ether. However, it seems that it extracted not only memories relating to the combat, but the soldier's very essence. As you saw, the pilot succumbed entirely to the will of Van Darnis. Though it is merely supposition, it's possible that being fused with the ruby weapon's core accelerated the process and caused the deceased legatus to manifest in corporal form. Could it be that the death of the pilot was caused by the system malfunctioning? It's hard to say. The ruby weapon itself was largely intact when it was deactivated, which strongly implies that it was the synthetic Orosite running amok that killed her, rather than the damage incurred during the battle. Yay, faulty machinery. But even after our analysis, I'm afraid we still don't know enough information. For now, perhaps we should consult with Gaius as our next plan of action. Okay. What's up, guys? Victor has come bearing vital information. I traced the ruby weapon's path back to the occupied territory of Whirling, which appears to be where it was built. I grasp geography surprisingly more. Can you catch and enlighten me? While Alamigo is placed on the western edge of the Gimlet, Wordlet lies on the opposite end to the east. It was once a proud and prosperous city until it was brought to its knees by the Imperial invaders. You seem well informed. Perhaps I should have taken you with me. Thought that much was common knowledge. It is also where Alphonse and the others were born. And now the weapon project has brought them home. Yes, the very pace now rife with Imperials. They have established an airship supply depot in the coastal town of Terncliff. According to the locals, something resembling one of the weapons was transported there a few days ago. This bodes ill indeed. Were it possible, I would attempt to capture Alphonse and his followers before they can launch an offensive. However, the distance between here and Terncliff presents a considerable obstacle, and in all likelihood, the weapon will be ready long before we arrive. Approaching by sea would allow us to save time by circumventing the ground-based troops, provided we were able to secure a vessel. Or you could use the Enterprise, take the most direct route of all, as the crow flies. In fact, this is a perfect chance to put my top-secret plan into action. And might I ask what that entails? It wouldn't be much of a secret if I told you now, would it? What I can say is there's a starring role planned for you, Indolent. Oh, great. Why surprised? You didn't think I'd let you get off easy, did you? It'll be here soon, so don't you go anywhere. Running away! Running away! Great. What the fuck are you gonna do now? I went for the tussle. I see Sid delights in keeping others in suspense. Can only hope he does not make us wait over long. What the? Oh, fuck was that sound? Hello. Yeah, okay. Is that the fucking Ultima Weapons head? There it is, Indolent. I present Garland Ironworks' adaptation of the Ultima weapon, the G-Warrior. Oh, so you made a Gundam. Pilot the G-Warrior, guys. Or Indolent will have to go again. I know the elegant design when I see it. Excavated from one of their ruins, no doubt. As a slot, to be precise. We came across it during the course of our investigation. Decided it would be a shame to let it go to waste. And you will be taking this refitted relic to face the enemy head-on, yes? Perhaps my knowledge of the Ultima weapon will be of use. I'm counting on you, as it happens. But first, we'll need to perform a test run in the simulation before throwing you into battle. Come, we don't have much time. Okay, whatever you say. A drink of water. Hello. Bullshit instructions. Let us begin the G-Warrior Training Simulator. I prepared 3 trials to teach you the basics. First, I want you to try and attack the guidance system. Don't worry, you won't fight back. G-Warrior is armed with ranged weaponry. Now's the chance to learn what it's capable of. So we got a Spirit Bomb, a Kaioken, Sword Move, Kamehameha. Okay. Surprisingly solid C. So far so good. Let's move on to something a bit more advanced, shall we? The Warrior also comes equipped with Phoretic Booster, which diverts even more power to its weapons, increasing the speed and maneuverability. This, however, comes at a price. Activating it places a huge strain on the G-Warrior, so it must only be used in short bursts. That's why it's best to practice here before heading into battle. Try the boosters. You'll notice improvement of speed is as much improved. As shown on the manga, G-Warrior becomes more and more structurally unstable as time passes. We activate the booster with the same button. Auto restoration can mitigate a certain amount of damage incurred. Don't rely on it to carry you through the battle. Try using the booster to destroy the target. Time the node will launch a launching attack. So the target while holding its attack. Excellent work, Indolent. Let's deactivate the boosters while I explain the final trial. We covered offense, now let's look at the defense. This is where the Imperial Aegis will come in handy. Unfortunately, you can't keep the barrier up indefinitely, as it would drain the G-Warrior's power reserves. He might even run out of energy for the weapons, so watch out. First, let's try deploying Argus. Argus shows how much power is being drained. Don't let it get too low. That's enough for now. Turn off the barrier using the same button to deploy it. For the last trial, we'll use the Aegis while attempting to destroy the target. This attack of the sword has a brush to close the strike, so don't be afraid to use it. Unlike before, there's no way to escape this attack. Use the back. static enough. You're natural. Alright, that's everything. Time to end the simulation. Yay! Yay, training! Are you sufficiently prepared? I guess? Yes, I'm ready. As ever. And we shall depart for Turncliffe at once. The tussle. Sapphire weapon. Seems they were expecting us. Who's the pilot? Did they just disappear? The models aren't even there. Okay. Internet, we're almost there. Better have your wits about you. Gee, warrior, do the thing. Oh, there you are, Sid. Now, let's get ready to strike. Time to fly this over. Warrior engage. I don't know. This is really weird. Sounds awfully familiar. Christ, that's terrifying. So is that Hydralis's helmet? Isn't that the dude we ran into in Monsters Law? Can't afford to lose. It's all or nothing. Activate Oversoul. Man, that was quick. Hydralis combat supply ready. Initiating organic core override. I will monitor the situation from the air. Follow my instructions and eliminate the target. I'll do my best. No promises! Oh, that's big. that? Hello. Jump at you. Lovely. I think I might have a hang of it now. Hello. Alright. Up. whole thing gets complicated after I figure stuff out. Oh well. Alright, well, that's out of the way. Not particularly. They're like, look for movement. No movement on the water whatsoever, and he pops up at random. Okay, whatever works. The target has been silenced. I think one of your kids just died again, guys. Understood. Now that the immediate threat has been dealt with, we should gather what information we can in Turncliffe. And we're just kind of in the city now. Okay. Oh, that's nice music. You did well to pilot the G Warrior so aptly in so short a time. Did you not see me fail the first time, guys? And with the weapon largely intact, Sid and his researchers should be able to gather a wealth of valuable information. Before it was dismantled, perhaps we should take one last look upon our fallen foe. Oh, great, not again! We should have known Father and his friend would track us down sooner or later. Now they're at our doorstep and the Sapphire weapon still isn't ready. Even so, should we still be able to fend them off, or at least buy us some time. Not quite how I imagined it, but it seems a good way to die as any. Rex, aye. Raccoon, why are you still here? You're supposed to be moving the other weapons to a safe location. You can take care of that while I pilot the Sapphire weapon. Oh, there's that then. What are you talking about? I'm the pilot, not you. There's no need to put your life on the line. Damn it, Rex. Don't make me kick your ass. So the Emerald weapon pilot and the Sapphire weapon pilot switched. Besides, it's still incomplete. Can barely perform basic maneuvers, so it'll be practically useless in a fight. We have a solution. Oversoul. You want to end up like Melisandre? No, of course not. Wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. But she didn't give her life in vain. The ruby weapon left behind data that's used to improve the system, to prevent any further malfunctions. What difference does that make? Once Oversoul is activated, the pilot fuses with the core. There's no turning back. That's why I should be the one to pilot the Sapphire weapon. Not you, Rex. Alphonse needs you. You and I both know I'm the least qualified pilot we have. There's less to lose if I don't make it back. No, I will not let you. I think he's asking, dude. Please, Rex, hear me out. Ever since we were children, I was the smallest, the weakest, too afraid to stand up for myself. But I had the best brothers and sisters a boy could wish for. You were always there for me, protecting me. Now it's my turn to protect you. Take the other weapons and get out of here. See this through to the end. Do for me, for Melisandre. I'm counting on you, Rex. Who keeps designing these body-tight armor suits? You always did have a stubborn streak, although Rickon won't let you down. Just promise you wait for me on the other side. We'll meet again, brother. I look like Shadow the Hedgehog at a green hair day. I mean, you all made me happier than I had any right to be. And now, I finally found my purpose. I have no regrets. I'm Shadow the Hedgehog. Come on, Sapphire. We may be far from perfect, but we have a job to do. Let's give Father something to remember us by. A weirdly clunky system. And a very dull, boring fight. Yeah, that's about right. Echo, I presume. What did it reveal to you? I didn't know you adopted a Sega franchise. Rickon, my poor boy. You were braver than most could ever hope to be. It's as we feared. I'm sorry, guys. Are those two gonna fight? First Melisandre, now Rickon. We must find the remaining weapons and end this madness. And hence the sad music of this area. At least the somber music of this area. Sup, Victor? Tell me, what do you know of Gaius Belisar? He first appeared to me when we were fighting a giant bird woman. And then he like killed a bunch of Ixal and piloted a giant robot and then invaded his base and punched him a lot, and then he kind of disappeared. Then he reappeared after a while, and he had Alphina with him, who was unconscious at the time, but then like he went off on his own, and then he was with the Stinian, and then he came back again, and yeah, that's about it. I understand the two of you have been acquainted since days of the Black Wolf. He claimed to have shed his pelt when he took up the hunt for Ascians. He still came, but he's still the same man deep down. He certainly kept quiet about his having a flock of foster children back in the Empire, though. It seemed he would rather bare his teeth to his former masters than allowed harm to come to them. Yet try as I might, I cannot make sense of it. Does he truly fight for the good of mankind, as he would have us all believe, or is he merely biding his time before he reveals his true colors? Whatever the answer may be, in the end, he will always be a guardian. And though there may be an honorable man and woman among them, I have suffered much and more as a result of their conquests, barbaric campaigns in which Gaius Belisar played no small part. When my first encounter with the Guardians was 20 years ago, shortly after the fall of El Amigo, they continued the march into the lands that had long been home to we, the Duskwights. We sought to repel the invaders, but we were woefully unprepared. Our bows and arrows were no match for the Magitech, and ever more powerful magics did little to slow their advance. Fought on the front line, but I was knocked unconscious in the open in exchange. When it came to, I was all alone. The rest of my unit was slaughtered. I hurried back to my village to look after my wife and daughter, only to find the place deserted. My search lasted for days, then weeks, then months, and it seems they had disappeared without a chase. I finally learned from two Imperials held at Bittermill that the villagers had been captured and used as test subjects for the poisonous gas that would later be known as Black Rose. Holy fuck. They were never seen again. For 20 long years I roamed aimlessly, with nothing but hatred to keep me alive. I eventually found myself at the Order of the Twin Adder, who offered me a place among the ranks. The desire for vengeance was the only thing I had left, so without a moment's hesitation, I accepted. Were it not for the war with Garlemald, I would have been loath to work alongside the city-dwelling Gridanians, who for so long had treated my kind as outcasts. But none of that mattered anymore. It all culminated in Operation Archon. As you led the charge into the Praetorium, we were right behind you. When the place came tumbling down, most of us were caught in the rubble. I escaped with my life, though many others were less fortunate. I was wondering about that. Having dragged myself free of the rubble, I sought a way out. It was then I encountered none other than Gaius Belisar. On the verge of death, the gods had delivered me the man whose conquest had robbed me of everything. I was poised, ready to exact my vengeance, and then he spoke. I will not beg for mercy. I only ask that you stay your hand a while longer. I cannot die until I've rid the world of the Ascian menace. For millennia, mankind has danced to their tune, and no more. And then once we are free, my life is yours for the taking. I would have struck him down there and then, had I not sensed the truth in his words. So I decided to grant him a stay of execution, and join him on his hunt. All this time, I've kept a close eye on Gaius. Though he is ever on the watch for pursuers, he has granted me ample opportunity to slay him if I so choose. And I still might if he shows even the slightest sign of betraying our agreement. That's intense. But now, the Ascians are my chosen quarry. If they are indeed the ones pulling the Empire's strings, then it shall not end until they have been eradicated. Every last one. Though I could not save my kin, there are those who may yet be spared the horrors of war. Okay. Unfortunately, dealing with the Asians will have to wait until we have brought an end to the Guardian's weapon project. Though we have vanquished 2 of their weapons, we must make every effort to prepare for whatever the Guardians throw at us next. Perhaps Severa can tell us whether the Ironworks engineers have uncovered any information of the note. Finally, backstory for people who have been silent since they appeared in Stormblood. Good to have that little tidbit. Ironwork engineers are still at work dismantling the Sapphire weapon and investigating the Terran Cliff Magitech facility. Though they have yet to make their report, they may have some news to share at this juncture. Please, wait here for a moment. Like I have anything better to do. Many people skip this part of the story, not knowing how good it really is. We've yet to finish our investigation. I can give you a preliminary report. We were able to recover anything of note. Before abandoning the facility, they'd attempt to destroy anything they couldn't take with them, including many of the research materials. Luckily, some information relating to the Sapphire weapon's combat data was intact. Judging by what we saw during the battle, it was extracted from regular Von Hydrus, was it not? It appears the Sapphire weapon was actually in an incomplete state, and therefore unable to perform at full capacity. Even so, it was immensely powerful. Had they been given the chance to finish it before we'd arrive, who knows how it would have ended. Probably another trial fight. Indeed. We may not be so fortunate next time, so we must prepare for the worst. The Ironworks will continue investigating the Sapphire weapon and look into the possible countermeasures. That go afforded you a glimpse into the conversation between Recon and Rex prior to the weapon's deployment. Do you remember any details? Yeah, he looked like Shadow the Hedgehog, but with like a green hairdo. Green hairdo, you say? Improvements were made to synthetic RSite systems to prevent malfunctions. Then it was never the intent to create a manifestation of Nell Von Donitz. But there's one thing that was intended. Oversoul. Its activation results in the pilot being absorbed into the core, killing them in the process. Rex and Recon were fully aware of this, were they not? Yep. And the death of the pilot was by design all along. Alphonse, how could you? Sacrificing your own siblings to fuel these accursed war machines. Surely, there is no cause worth paying such a price. Aye, nothing is more precious than family. The nightmare is far from over. It appears that Rex has fled with the remaining weapons. We can but assume that Alphonse has every intention of sending them into battle. We must find a way to disable them before Oversoul can be activated. I have seen enough death. I do not wish to see any more. Then there is no time to waste. Let us be about it, guys. Severa, you're in charge here. Keep Sid and his team safe while they carry out the investigation. Understood. Please see that no harm comes to Gaius. So what's her backstory then? While we're gone, I need you to relay everything to the resistant troops. Your first-hand account should prove useful. If there's any developments, we'll be sure to contact you. It's a decent story. Yeah. You will learn all in due time. Hell yeah, it's due time. Mountain dew time. Hello, recorder dude. Welcome back. Welcome back. Sounds like you've been on quite the journey all the way to Turncliffe. Judging by the fact that you made it here in one piece, I trust everything went according to plan. Shit went downhill. What an astonishing account. Wouldn't mind putting that G-Warrior through the paces myself. Certainly a lot more stimulating than supervising this rabble. I'd imagine, at least. Aye, and as before, I'll compile the information into a report and leave it over there for your perusal. Should you feel so inclined. If we hear anything from headquarters, we'll be sure to pass it on. Sapphire Weapon Bus. A chest of the Garden Ironworks scale replica of a selected portion of the Sapphire weapon that glows ominously, except no substitutions. Meanwhile, in Gotham, at the Joker's hideout, meanwhile, 7 Legions were at headquarters. That looks like Christian Bale. Anyway, I've come to deliver my report, Lord Valens. Valens? Whatever. Oh, so you've returned, young Alfred. Who was it? Alwick. Not that it really matters, of course. I hear that you and your darling brothers and sisters have been allowed the Sapphire weapon to fall into the hands of the enemy. Do tell me it isn't so. I'm afraid that is the case, Lord Valens. Oh, come now. No need to be so sullen. As they say, to err's human, to forgive divine. And you know how forgiving I can be when it suits me. Yummy moo juice. So tell me, whatever your name is, who was able to best the Sapphire weapon? Our sources state the one known as the Warrior of Light was assisted by Sid Garland and Gaius Van Balesword. Sorry, my lord. Gaius. Yes, it seems he's been quite the troublemaker of late. Defecting from Garlemald, assassinating the Empire. Whatever next? Oh, well. No use crying over spilt milk. Remember, milk does the body good. God, I'm still remembering that one 90s commercial about the dude who lost his arms. Speaking of which, I've become quite the connoisseur since arriving in Wernick. This particular variety comes from a rare breed of cow, you know. Only 100 of them in existence and pampered every day of their lives. Yes, they are quite valuable till the milk dries up, that is. When it does, they are sent to the slaughterhouse like all the rest, for that is the lot in life. So that's where we get our Wagyu meat. Beef. Yeah. To be discarded once they have served their purpose. Then I create the ruby and sapphire weapons so that you could deliver them gift-wrapped to the enemy. I see it now. Sid Non-Garland rubbing his hands with glee at all the technological marvels we've bestowed upon him. And you let Gaius von Belisar, of all people, get the better of you. How do you think that reflects on me, the legatus of the 7th Legion, humiliated by that traitor? Humiliated, I say. There is only one way to deal with this worthless provincial filth like you. Wait for me in the correction chamber. You need to be taught a lesson in obedience. Yes, my lord. Wow, he stopped sweating quick. Forgive my intrusions, Lord Valens, but it's time for your meeting with the head of the Magitech Development. Someone's getting a spanking. Damn right. Oh, how time flies when you're whipping useless soldiers into shape. Yes, I'll be along once I've made myself presentable. Can't have these people thinking I've let my scandals slip now, can I? That man is one can short of a six-pack. What are you doing here? You wish to see me, Lord Valens? Did I now? Ah, yes, that's right. So you're ally, yes? And you join the military of your own free will, along with your fellow orphans. Such devotion. What an inspiration you are. You see, it is my firm belief that love grants us the power to move mountains, to overcome any obstacle. Together, we shall discover the strength that lies within you. Take my hand, child. I will show you the way. Oh, so he's a cult leader. Blood of Emerald. Sid's investigations in Turcliffe has led to a startling revelation. Ah, good to see you, Internet. I never moved. I'm pleased to report that Master Garland and the others uncovered a fair bit of useful information at the Imperial facility in Turncliffe. In fact, he'd like you to rendezvous with Gaius at the town square, where he'll reveal what they found. Once you're ready to depart, your escort will lead you the way. All set for the journey ahead. Yeah. Hello, you dramatic people. Now that you are here, perhaps Sid will finally deign to dispense his findings. Ha! He's been withholding information. Severa informed him of Indolent's arrival. Take a drink of water. Thank you for coming. I didn't have a choice, Sid. The quest led me here. So, what have you discovered? Well, to tell the truth, we were lucky to obtain any information at all, considering the lengths to which the Imperials went to covering the tracks. You see, the hangar below was not just used to store the weapons, but played a critical role in their creation. We now know the coded names given to the three weapons: Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald. Obviously, we are all familiar with the first two, but the third is something of an unknown quantity. And at very least, this confirms the existence of another of those abominations. At the very least. The problem lies in ascertaining its whereabouts. None of the locals have seen anything resembling a weapon being transported either by land or air. Which of course leaves only one option: the sea. According to what fragmented data we were able to recover, the Emerald weapon is equipped with aquatic capabilities, much like Sapphire. Meaning that its escape from Turncliff would have gone undetected and could potentially be anywhere by now. But if Alphonse plans to have it absorb more primals, the logical choice would be Eorzea. And traveling by sea would allow him to circumvent the front line at the Gimlet entirely. The lines must be alerted at once. Hold your chocobo, Severa. It seems that the Emerald weapon was still incomplete when the 7th Legion withdrew from Turncliff. It's far more likely that it was transported to another facility in order to add to the finishing touches. If your supposition is correct, that would narrow our search to but 2 possible locations: Casham Maronium in the Ronto Sea, Casham Oscendius in the east, Lanosia, both of which are known for harboring remnants of the 14th Legion, or former subordinates, guys. Be that as it may, our objective is unchanged. Victor, you and Severo will make your way to Casham Oscendius, while Indolent and I head for Casham Marinera. Should we locate the Emerald weapon, we will give you the signal to dispatch the G-Warrior and eliminate it before it can be activated. Sorry to disappoint you, but we're still repairing the damage it sustained in the encounter with the Sapphire weapon. While elegant machinery has its uses, it's a bugger to find replacement parts in a pinch. We've actually been working to expand its already impressive arsenal, but the G-Warrior itself is in no fit state for combat. While I'm aware that is a far from adequate replacement, I can provide an ironwood submersible to help Indolent and Gaius reach Casham Marinera. I'll have one sent ahead to Vesper Bay. Okay, off to Vesper Bay, I guess. A submersible, eh? I don't much like the sound of that. Perhaps Severo and I should count ourselves fortunate that our destination can be approached by land. I pray you have a safe journey. Watch yourself out there, Indolent. Yeah. Work. It's time we departed. Let us make our way to Vesper Bay. Oh hey, that was quick. That little tower place. As per Master Garland's instructions, the submersible is ready when you are. Yes. But before you depart, I've received some scraps of intelligence regarding your opponent from my colleagues in Turngriff. Yes. Apparently, it uses some sort of levitating hand-like appendages. 6 of them, in fact. Though we're not quite sure what purpose they serve. It sounds like having eyes in the back of your head might come in handy. But that's all we know, I'm afraid. Very useful. You have our thanks. After all, forewarned is forearmed. The emerald weapon has indeed been transported into this cache room. It would need to enter via the dry dock. We shall do likewise. As one might expect, there are measures in place to keep out intruders, but the security systems can be tricked into recognizing us as an Imperial vessel. That said, infiltrating the facility is merely the first step. Should the emerald weapon be activated, it is only a matter of time before the pilot uses Oversoul. We must silence the War Machina before this happens. And failing that, grant the poor sword at its helm the mercy of a swift death. Had these wounds healed more quickly, I could have gone with you, but I fear I would only slow you down. As such, I shall provide what support I can from afar. Whatever happens, the emerald weapon must be defeated at all costs. Gasha Marinarum! Average item level 485. So I'm locked out. Oh well. Guess that's the end of that for the day. Yeah. Well, we're just gonna have to finish this another time, ladies and gentlemen. I think I'll actually call it here for the day. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. We shall continue with the 5.2 stuff tomorrow, until we can replace our armor to enter and fight the emerald weapon. Thank you all for watching, and thank you Aaron and KO2 for being a delight in chat. You all have a good day and a good sleep, and I will see you. Mignon. Ta-ta.